SHMACKEMAGOB, my friends. Here I am, and I gotta tell you, I bought this. And the reason I bought this, I wasn't planning on buying this, but I gotta share a little story before I get into this album here. Somebody online posted a Photoshop picture of Eddie Van Halen holding this CD, and believe it or not, look at this picture. It's beautiful, you know? And there were people that were leaving comments like, this is disrespectful, this is terrible. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Eddie loved his son, and you know he would be proud of his son today, you know, with the release of this album. People just love to get pissed off for no reason. That picture actually inspired me to buy this, because I was like, you know what? For Eddie, I'm going to buy this album. For Eddie. You know, I did it for him because, honestly, the things I heard from this album before it came out, I was like, it's a little too modern sounding. I love the fact that people loved it, because I think Wolfgang needs love. You know? He's a great kid. Well, he's 30 years old. Great 30-year-old kid. And so I bought it. And by the way, I got the orange vinyl version. Let me put this back in. But you know, I bought it, and before I put it on, you know, I took the plastic off, and I knew I did the right thing, because there's a back cover, but when I opened it and I saw this picture, it really choked me up. You know, look how happy Eddie is. Look how much he loves that son of his, you know. And he writes, "This one's for you, Pop." So I knew I did the right thing, because I love Eddie. So I took notes of this album. I only heard it once, and I'm giving my honest review here about this. So it opens up with a song called Mr. Ed. Now, is that about his dad? I'm not sure. Or is it about the horse? Which, by the way, I loved that show. Mr. Ed was awesome. I thought that show was hysterical. This is what I had to say about it. I thought it was catchy. I really liked this track, actually. I like this opening track. It's, you know, it does have that modern sound, but, you know, that really does nothing for me. But, you know, here's an exception. I think it's a great melody, and I think it's a great riff, and I loved it. I did love the first track, Mr. Ed. The next track is called Horribly Right. You know, and like Mr. Ed, you know, it has that modern feel, but I liked it as well. You know, it's kind of like another exception. You know, it's got that modern flair, but, you know, I really love Wolfgang's voice. You know, he plays everything on it. Drums, bass, guitar, vocals. His vocals are awesome. Everything he does is awesome. You know, the 30-year-old kid is extremely talented. He's awesome on the drums, bass, and guitar. And I love the groove to this song, Horribly Right. I think it's really good. The next song is called Epiphany, and this one goes over my head. You know, this one does nothing for me, but keep in mind, this kid, 30-year-old kid, is, you know, it's today's modern music. When I was a kid, older people would look down on my music, like, oh, that shit sucks, you know, but, hey, man, it was modern to me at the time, and it ruled, and it's modern to him and the kids today, and it rules. I don't want to be one of those grumpy old fuckers when I was a kid telling me that Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Van Halen sucked. Yes, even Van Halen, they hated. I had a lot of these people. You should listen to Grateful Dead and, you know, Country Joe and the Fish and stuff like that. That's your stuff, not mine, you know? And I'm sure some of you out there like Grateful Dead and Country Joe and the Fish. That's your stuff, not mine. All right, next song, Don't Back Down. Now, this is the one that I saw the video for, where he plays, you know, he's like cloned. It's like 4 of them playing every instrument. I loved it. When I saw that video, I was like, man, now, after hearing 2 or 3 songs that did nothing for me, this one I really like. And I think it's my favorite song on the album. But it's the first time I listened to it. First time listener. Didn't really sink in as much, but I still think that is the best song on this album. But there's a couple really cool, I mean, there's a second and third favorite song coming up. But I really liked it. The next song is called Resolve. And this one, it's not bad. It's got a mellower vibe. Great vocals. I don't hate it. Didn't really love it. I thought it was decent. Okay, and then you got You'll Be the One. And this one, it has kind of like an AC/DC riffage to it. And I thought it was catchy. And I thought, again, a decent track. Mammoth. This one, I love the riffage on this track. Cool flow. You know, this 30-year-old kid is mega talented in all these instruments. And it has great vocals. I'm digging this. It's modern, but I'm digging it. I mean, you know, here's the thing. I gotta say this. I'm an old guy, but I still explore new music. There's a lot of great bands out there that I really love, but all these great bands I love doesn't have that modern sound. You know, like Midnight Priest from Canada, Riot City, Crypt Sermon, Midnight Spell. I mean, all these have that old school vibe. That's why I like it, because I'm an old school guy. But I do love, you know, some new bands, but not in the modern, you know, I can't get into like Avenged Sevenfold or Alter Bridge and stuff like that. And that's where this is more cutting the cloth of. But I really am digging it. I'm not doing this because I'm biased or anything. I'm like, maybe if I sat down and listened to Alter Bridge, I'd probably feel the same way. But you know, what I heard of them made me not explore. But because of the great Eddie Van Halen and the respect I have for my favorite guitar player of all time, I had to buy his son's music. There. Alright, next track. Circles. This one's got a trippy vibe to it. It's got a nice flavor, great vocal melodies. And it's different musically, and I like it. Not really modern, I don't feel, but it's good. I dug it. Alright, The Big Picture is a heavier track. A bit disjointed, but it connects, if that makes any sense. Disjointed, but yet connects. I know I'm a little wacky in the head, but that's how I feel. It's like, sounds disjointed, but it kind of makes sense at the same time. And, you know, I liked it, especially, you know, when he belts out the vocals during that song. I really like that part. Think It Over. I think this was the track that Eddie said was his favorite. Eddie Van Halen, I'm pretty sure it was Think It Over. He said, this is my favorite track. And who gives a fuck what I think? Eddie Van Halen loves this song. That's it. And I'll say this. I do think this should be the next single, because this really does have that modern sound that I think would be huge if they would push it a lot. I think, you know, I think this does have potential to be a hit single, regardless what I think of it. Eddie loved it, therefore, fuck what I think. Alright, You're to Blame. Musically, this one is too Rage Against the Machine. And I have rage against Rage Against the Machine. Fuck them, I won't do what they tell me. Not a fan, and not a fan of this one, okay? Gotta say, too Rage Against the Machine-ish. Feel, my second favorite. I like this one a lot. This may be like almost tied with that song I like. What was it? Don't Back Down. I think it sounds amazing. It's pretty original sounding to me, and I would like him to take this route on future albums. Like, take this vibe, because this song's really good. You know, sounds nothing like classic Van Halen, and that's another thing I love about it. A lot of people want him to sound like Van Halen. Sound like yourself. Wolfgang, I hope you're watching this, man, because I love you. I really do, and I loved your dad as a fan. I'm not some psychotic guy that, you know, will be like that. What was that movie? Was it Misery called? Where James Conner tied to bed and her name Kathy Bates breaks his foot. I'm not that I'm psychotic, but in a very nice, lovable, non-violent way. And I hope you're watching. I love you, man. So, Feel, second favorite track. Love it. Stone, my third favorite track. I mean, my second and third is at the tail end of this album. And what did I write about this one? It's again, it's trippy. That keeps me interested. I love that riffage that kicks in here and there in the song. Very heavy and cool. And, you know, it's like these little breaks. I love it, you know, and it's my third favorite. All right, and the last track is the first one I ever heard, Distant. And it still does nothing for me. But, you know, Eddie just passed away when he released it. The video is very heart-tugging. And I really do love his vocals on it. I love when he starts getting like, no matter what, I will be with you. When he does that part, I love that. But musically, it's not my thing. But, hey, man, I love the fact that most of you out there loved it and gave it a lot. Made it, I think, #1 on some rock charts thing. He deserves it. So, all in all, you know, it was a decent listen, man. I mean, I will listen to it again. I will definitely give it more chances. Maybe some of these songs will grow on me, but I really doubt the Rage Against the Machine sounding one will. No. But, hey man, I say give it a chance. If you don't want to buy it, listen on YouTube. It's all on there. So this is my review of the Mammoth WVH. And, you know, and I follow Wolfie online, and recently some jackass girl wrote something like, you know, about Eddie, like, oh, you know, stop it with the Eddie thing. I mean, he lived a good life. And I'm like, really? Let's see how you feel when your dad dies. Ah, whatever, he lived a good life. People are stupid online, I gotta tell you. But Wolfie, all that matters is what I think and people who are like me think about you. Don't care what these idiots say to you. Hey man, I'm a veteran of morons. I run a channel full of kissed-hearts. So I'm pretty sure I know how you feel. But at the same time, no, I think what they do is even more brutal than kissed-hearts, because kissed-hearts make me laugh. Well, I'm sure they make you laugh too, how stupid people are. But at the same time, I have a lot of respect for you. I hope you're watching. And keep on doing what you're doing, man. A lot of people are loving it. I've seen a lot of reactions online. Everybody's saying, not a one bad song on the album. People are loving it. And I wish you great success. I hope you're watching. You 30-year-old kid. You rule, and your mom rules. She was my first crush when I was a kid. Her and Thelma from Good Times. Grrr, that brown sugar. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If you'd like to donate, I have a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Everybody out there, stay frosty and schmack 'em a gob.